class theme, which is centered all around boundaries. So we've been exploring boundaries this past week, and one of the things that came up is what does it actually feel like in the body to, you know, to want to do something or to not want to do something, because so often we're so incredibly disconnected with our bodies that we don't have the intuition and that we're not able to feel into our body and recognize what feels good and what doesn't, and then following our body's wisdom to set a boundary or to not set a boundary. And so today, what I what I would like to practice with an optional microdose, as always, is to become a little bit more aware of the body, and then go into a little practice to really listen within and connect to our body in asking ourselves what is a yes for me and what might be a no for me. So before we start the class, everything that has to do with connecting to the body and these somatic practices, it's definitely a practice. And especially if we've been disconnected from our body's wisdom for a very long time, maybe decades or as long as we can remember, it can actually be really challenging to feel, is this a yes or is this a no, or what is my body telling me? But as with everything that we're doing here, by practicing and by being really gentle and compassionate with ourselves, we are developing that skill. So we are slowly attuning more to our body's wisdom, to our heart's desires, and then being able to, have the courage and the strength to act more in alignment with what is actually good for us and what feels good for us. So if this class feels a little challenging, that's okay. And there's no need to judge yourself. It is actually a really hard thing to do. And sometimes, even going through the journaling prompts and reflecting about what, like what boundaries do I want to set, like how has this shown up in my life, can almost be easier, even though it's still challenging, than connecting with the body and feeling what does that actually feel like in my body, or how has this felt in my body in the past when I've said yes to things that I actually wanted to say no to, or even when like I had to endure things that I did not want. Because a lot of times in those moments, what happens is that there's like a split from the body, and it's almost like we leave our body, even though we know that it's not something that we want, just because we can protect ourselves through that. And so as we establish that connection again, which again, literally yoga means union, as we come back to this connection with our body, because we have to be here. We can't just be in our mind, but we have to bring everything into the body, into the heart. It can be really challenging, and it's very tender. So if a lot of emotions or feelings come up for you today, that's okay. And I invite you to sit with these feelings. I invite you to allow yourself to express them. If you need to cry, you can cry. If you need to hug yourself, if at any point throughout the practice it feels better to, literally just lay down in Shavasana or go into child's pose and take a few deep breaths, that's also something that you can do. So really take it at your pace. And everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm offering is an invitation. And the flow of the class, we're going to set an intention together. If you are using your microdose, there will be an invitation to connect with your microdose, and then we're going to move into breath practice, into gentle movement, and then after Shavasana, we're going into a little bit of an extended practice to really connect with what does it feel like in the body, to honor your body's yeses and nos, because we kind of need the practice of movement first to kind of like open everything, to breathe a little bit deeper, and to almost have the capacity to slow down enough our brain and be more in the body before we can actually feel it. And so I really appreciate you being here, because when we are in the on the group calls, we don't really have enough time to do an extended practice like that because there's so much to talk about and so many things to discuss. But when it comes to embodiment, we really need the time. Like, it can't be rushed. It's not something, let's do this 5-minute practice and you'll be able to connect to your body, but we almost need that extended time to feel safe enough in the body to access these deeper layers. So if you need another moment to grab some water, to get your medicine, let's just give it another moment. You're very welcome to keep the camera on. You're welcome to turn it off if at any point throughout the practice you want to connect. You can unmute yourself and just speak up if there is any question, but otherwise I'm just gonna gently guide us through this practice. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get settled in. And Kisha, maybe just for another second, if you can keep your video on, just so I can ask you if the volume level's good. Let's see. Can you hear that music in the background? A little bit more or good? Okay. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get settled in. Just finding a comfortable seat on the mat. Sitting cross-legged or on your knees, whatever feels good to you here. And if you are working with your microdose medicine this morning, just taking the medicine into your hand or bringing the hands closer to your heart. Close down your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth, side out. Let's do that 2 more times. Deep breath in through the nose. Feel the crown of the head lifting toward the sky, elongating the spine, sitting up tall. And exhale through the mouth, release, soften the shoulders. Feel the sit bones grounding down, rooting into the earth. One last time, deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, open mouth, side out, let it go. Settling into a breath in and out through the nose now. Take a few moments here to take inventory of how your body's feeling this morning. Any aches or pains, tension, tightness, spaciousness, openness. Noticing the temperature on your skin. Feel the weight of your thighs, your sit bones. Notice the darkness behind your eyelids, and just take a few more breaths here just for yourself, seeing if you can soften, relaxing the jaw and the cheeks. Softening the shoulders, maybe drawing the shoulder blades back ever so gently. And then bringing your awareness to your heart. If you have your hands over your heart or close to your heart with the medicine, just taking a moment here to feel into what is present. Today's class is all about boundaries and feeling into your body about what is a yes for you and what is a no for you. And there's this really beautiful quote by Brené Brown. You might know her. Her books are incredible and I quote her often. And she says that daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others. Just letting that sink in, those words about courage of self-love and how boundaries really are a very fierce declaration of loving yourself, of honoring yourself. And perhaps this feels really far-fetched. Maybe this feels impossible if you've been overextending yourself, people-pleasing, saying yes when you really want to say no, but it's definitely true. And as we move through this practice and this program, this is one of the most important aspects of the medicine and of connecting back to your heart and pouring into yourself. And so let's set this intention together and asking the medicine to help us connect with our body, to help us feel safe in our body enough so we can listen to our intuition about when something feels like a full body yes, and when something feels like a no. Taking one more deep breath with that. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to take your medicine or simply continuing to breathe, connecting to your heart. And once you've connected with your medicine, just placing gently one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Once again, closing the eyes, or if it feels a little bit safer, you can also come into a soft gaze, finding a focal point. Sometimes it can be easier to focus your eyes on something. And that's always available to you throughout this practice, is if it feels too much to close your eyes and deeply feel and listen, just very softly opening your eyes, just 10%, and finding and anchoring a focal point for you. We're gonna come into a 4-part breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose for the count of 4. Hold the breath at the top for 4. Exhaling through the nose for 4. And then holding the breath outside for 4. So it's kind of this box breath. Equal inhales, exhales, and the space between. So let's do it together a few times. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue in your own time, really observing the breath, the chest rising and falling, the belly expanding. And if you lose count, simply come back with the next inhale, not judging yourself. And see if you can deeply listen in the space between the breath, in those 4 counts of silence and stillness, in that fullness and the emptiness. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Again, connecting back to how those words feel in your body as I say them. And just noticing what happens in your body as you breathe, as you slow down your nervous system. And with the help of the medicine, balancing your nervous system, bringing everything into equilibrium. Staying with those equal breaths, inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding the breath again to the count of 4. And if your mind is wandering, again, gently bringing it back to the breath, to the feeling of your hands on your body. After the next exhale, releasing the hands down onto the knees, palms facing down. Coming back into a natural breath, in and out through the nose. And very gently starting to roll the head up and over, down and around. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed here. Simply noticing the movement. And starting to find your own rhythm here, synchronizing your movement with your breath. An invitation to slow it down a little bit more. Rolling the head the other way. Feel the weight of your hands on your knees, shoulders are soft, jaw is soft, tongue relaxed. And slowly bring the head to center, bringing the fingertips on the shoulders and just starting to roll the shoulders, bringing the elbows up towards the sky and then down around, opening the chest. Drawing the shoulder blades together as you exhale. Making these circles as slow, as juicy, as feels good. Maybe even arching the back a little bit, really opening, shining the heart forward. And switching directions, bringing the elbows Up and then down, around. Allowing the body to gently open, creating a little bit more space with each circle, with each deep breath. Then releasing the hands back onto the knees. Inhale as you arch the back, lift the chest, lift the chin. And exhale, round the shoulders, round the spine, chin the chest. Inhale, lift the chest, arch the back, lift the chin. And exhale, curling inward. Shoulders come up to the ears. And continuing with your own breath and finding a nice rhythm for you here. It can be really soft and slow. It can be really rhythmic. If you'd like to create a little bit more energy, you can play with some more dynamic in and out breaths. And what we're doing here is we're really engaging our spine. We're creating a little bit more space here. And in the yogic philosophy, according to the practice of yoga, we have these energy channels in the body called nadis. You can think of them like rivers or streams that carry energy through the body, and some of them are like the Amazon, like a roaring, raging big river, and some of them are almost like a trickle. But along the spine, there are two main energy channels, the Ida and the Pingala. And a lot of the energy that we're working with in yoga is to connect to that main energy channel along the spine. By doing these kinds of movements, by creating a little bit more space here, we're really activating those energies, and we're allowing energy to flow a little bit more freely, for any stagnant energy to start moving again. Let's do 5 more breaths here. And coming back to center, bringing the fingertips again onto the shoulders. Inhale as you move over to the left, and exhale to the right. So it's a dynamic movement, kind of like left and right, twisting the upper body, elbows at shoulder height. And again, find your own rhythm here. It can be really dynamic, it can be nice and slow. You can play with it, just feel into what feels good for you. You can always speed it up or slow it down. Closing down the eyes can feel really nice. Continuing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale at the center. Hold the breath. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. Shake it out, shake the arms, shake the elbows, shake the fingers. And then we're gonna come into our tabletop. Setting up for cat and cow, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, spread the fingers nice and wide, really grounding into the earth through the fingertips. Spine is straight. Inhale as you drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the chin, and exhale, round the shoulders, round the spine, chin the chest. Continuing again, using your own breath as your guide. Just exploring your range of motion in the spine. Maybe everything's a little tight. And take it at your own pace. An invitation to speed it up a little bit, making this movement more dynamic. And just moving the energy through that main energy channel along the spine. Releasing stagnant energy. If you have your eyes closed, see if you can bring your inner gaze to your third eye, the point between the eyebrows. Staying with this movement for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale as you drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the heart, hold the breath. And exhale, round the shoulders, round the spine, chin the chest, push the floor away from you. Then slowly starting with some circles, just starting to circle the torso, starting to circle the hips. Maybe bringing the knees a little bit wider and dropping into a little bit of dynamic movement here. Maybe bending into the elbows, really moving the shoulders. And especially in this kind of movement, it can feel really, really nice to close the eyes and feel into what kind of movement feels good. Maybe the hips feel really tight, maybe the shoulders, the upper back. Maybe shaking the head, yes and no. But keep that connection to the earth, keeping the fingers spread, really grounding down through all 10 fingertips, through the palm of your hand, finding that rooting, knowing that you're safe here, you're safe right now in this very moment. In your body with the medicine, you're safe with your breath, and being open to expand just a little bit more than yesterday. You're circling any particular direction, circling the other way, just exploring what kind of movement unlocks on the other side. And then slowly, slowly coming back to center. Bringing the knees again hip width. And then extend the right leg back, bringing the ball of the foot on the earth, drawing the right heel away from the crown of the head. Maybe staying right here. Maybe you want to lift the right leg up just to hip height. So you're not trying to go too high, but it's more about finding length here. Maybe you'd like to stay here. Maybe you want to extend the left arm out in front of you, reaching through the left fingertips, keeping the gaze down, the neck long. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, reaching, kicking back, 2, and 1, releasing. And extending the left leg back. Ball of the foot on the earth, pressing the left heel away. Again, an option to lift the left leg up to hip height. Toes pointing down, kicking the heel away. Maybe extending the right arm out in front of you. Really lengthening the spine here, actively drawing apart. Reaching through the right fingertips, kicking the left leg back. Extending, expanding, breathing deeply. For 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the hand back down, the knee back down, and then bring the knees wide. Bring the feet together and sit back into your child's pose, dropping the hips down toward the heels, walk the hands forward. Softening the forehead down onto the earth.
Taking 5 long, deep breaths here. Breathing into the hips and the lower back. Opening the shoulders and chest. On the next inhale, gently lifting the head, walking the hands back, coming back into that tabletop. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under and then lifting the knees, lifting the hips, pushing the hips back. Downward facing dog. You can keep the knees bent a lot, the heels lifted. Maybe walking out your dog, bending one knee after the other. Lifting the heels, swing the hips side to side, shaking the head yes and no. Fingertips are spread wide, again, finding that earthing, grounding through all 10 fingertips. Allowing the downward facing dog to be dynamic. And then coming to stillness in your downward facing dog, keeping the knees bent a lot if they need to be bent, and then slowly starting to walk the hands back towards the feet. Bend the knees a lot and hold on to the opposite elbow, allowing the head to soften, relax down. Letting gravity drag you down, releasing the spine, maybe gently rocking side to side. Grounding down through all 4 corners of the feet. And taking 3 deep breaths here, in through the nose and really sighing it out through the mouth. An audible exhale, inhale deep. And exhale. 2 more like that. Inhaling through the nose. And exhale, release. Last one, deep breath in. Exhale. Then releasing the hands back down onto the earth. Start walking the hands forward. And then coming back into that tabletop, gently bringing the knees down. And then sitting onto the heels. And then come sit on the sit bones, extending the legs out in front of you. Giving your legs a little bit of a shake, a little wiggle. And then bend the right foot, bring the right foot into the upper inner left thigh. Just taking a moment here to sit up nice and tall, maybe bringing the flesh from underneath the left sit bones, orienting your torso to that left foot. Inhale as you reach the arms up towards the sky, and exhale, leaning forward, 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 finding length, and then down. Maybe you catch your foot, maybe your shin, maybe your thigh. So it's not about catching your toes necessarily, but it's just about slowly finding that extension. And then you can close down your eyes and allowing your breath to soften you deeper into the pose. On the next inhale, gently releasing, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. And exhale, bring the hands down by your side. Extend the right leg out, giving the legs a little shake, a little wiggle. And bending the left foot, bringing the left foot into the upper inner right thigh. Once again, sitting up tall, just adjusting anything that you want adjusted, reaching the fingertips high to the sky. Extend the spine as you inhale and exhale, leaning forward, 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 and down, perhaps catching the foot, or once again, the shin or the thigh. There's no right or wrong here. And this is already one of those ways in which you can practice setting a boundary with yourself on what feels good in your body and where might you be quite literally overextending yourself to try to do something that you might not be ready to do or it doesn't feel good to do just because someone else says it. So again, everything that I'm offering is an invitation, and you really need to listen to your own body and what feels good for you today. And the thing with these boundaries is that it's not something that is necessarily fixed forever, but they can change day to day. Just like your body doesn't feel the same on any given day, and especially if you are a woman, a lot of that has to do with our cycle as well, and what our capacity is to give and to provide, or when we need a little bit more space and more self-care. And so we're really trying to find more flexibility in what feels good on a day-to-day basis. And we don't have to hold on to this idea of what we think it needs to look like or sound like, but moment to moment, an invitation to reevaluate and see what that looks like for you in this very moment. On the next inhale, we're gonna come back, reaching the fingertips high once more, and exhale, release. Extend the left leg out, once again giving the legs a little shake, and then bringing the legs together and pointing the toes towards you, almost as if you're pressing the heels against the wall in front of you. And just take a moment here to sit up tall. Even just sitting like this can be a lot because of posture when we're sitting in front of a computer, or when our breathing is very constricted, tends to be a little hunched over. So maybe just having the hands on both sides next to your hips or on the fingertips, maybe that's enough. And we're really trying to focus on the straight spine, on an open chest, on the shoulders, soft and relaxed down. Even as I'm doing that, I can already feel my thighs engaging, and by being active in my feet pressing the heels forward, that's actually quite a bit of engagement here. So maybe that's all that you're doing. Maybe if you'd like to, you can reach the hands up towards the sky, again finding the length and then reaching forward, 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 and down. Again, maybe you're catching your toes or the shins or the thighs. And let's take 10 deep breaths here. Another opportunity to close your eyes and to allowing your gentle but long and deep breath to guide you a little bit deeper into the feeling, deeper into the body. I bring awareness to my body, and I use my breath to surrender. bring awareness to my body. I use my breath to surrender.
Stories I've been told, I walk through the valley of my own shadow.
On the next inhale, gently coming up, reaching the arms high as you extend. And exhale, release the hands down. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms, shake out the head. Let go anything that came up, anything that you're holding right now. Just give it a moment to release. Shake a little more. And then slowly make your way down onto your back. Maybe scooching the hips forward so you can lay down. And laying down with the feet propped up, feet hip width apart, chin slightly tucked. So the lower back is comfortable on the earth, shoulders are on the mat, palms facing down, again finding that connection to the ground below you, feeling held and nourished. Closing down your eyes. We're going to come into a little bit of a hip opener, coming into figure four, so crossing that right foot on top of the left thigh. Maybe staying here, maybe drawing the left knee in, interlocking the hands underneath the left thigh or on top of the left shin. And it's totally up to you how deep you'd like to go. You can always adjust by releasing the leg a little bit or by drawing the knee in a little bit closer. Breathing long, slow, and deep. Two more deep breaths. And slowly releasing the left leg back onto the earth, uncrossing the left foot, and then changing sides, crossing the left foot on top of the right thigh now. Again, maybe staying here, maybe drawing the right knee in closer, interlacing your hands behind the right thigh or on top of the right shin. Try flexing both your feet just to protect that left knee. Perhaps you're noticing how one side of the body feels a little bit more tight than the other. And that's very normal. Our body, the sides of our body rarely feel the same on any given day. And just breathing into that left hip. One more deep breath here. And then relaxing the right leg back down, uncrossing the left leg. And then bringing the legs to the width of the mat. Still the feet propped up. Bringing one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and just very gently bringing the knees over to the right on the exhale. Inhaling to the center and exhaling over to the left.
So just coming into these very gentle windshield wipers. A beautiful practice to soothe the nervous system. Not rushing through anything. Very slowly signaling to the body that we're heading into Shavasana. If your eyes aren't already closed, an invitation to close your eyes for the remainder of the practice. Feeling the belly rise and fall, chest lift. And then slowly bringing the legs back to center. Now drawing the right knee into your chest, interlacing both hands on top of the right shin or at the right knee, and then extending the left leg out in front of you. And maybe the left heel stays on the earth. Maybe you'd like to lift the left heel just a little bit off the mat, letting it hover. Elongating the tailbone away from the crown of the head, really finding length here before we come into our relaxation. Switching the sides, extending that right leg, bringing the left knee in closer, hugging the left knee in towards the chest. And again, the right foot can stay on the earth. It can hover just a few inches above the mat, as long as the tailbone, the lower back, stays on the earth. And bringing both legs in, giving yourself a big hug, a big squish, and gently rocking side to side. Maybe drawing small circles, massaging the lower back and the spine. And extending the legs out the length and the width of the mat, relaxing the hands by your side, palms facing up. And before we go into Shavasana, we're going to tense different parts of the body and then relax them. So moving the awareness up from the feet to the head, I'm going to name the part of the body. You're going to lift that part of the body, tense it real tight, and then release. So bringing your awareness to your hands and feet. Inhale, lift your feet and your hands off the mat. Make a fist, tense everything real tight, 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 tight. Tense everything and release. Moving your awareness up to your hips and buttocks. Inhale, gently lift the hips, tense everything real tight. Tighten the buttocks together. Tight, 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 tight. And release. Moving the awareness up now to the shoulders. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Shrug, 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 shrug. And release. Gently rolling the head side to side, left to right, just one time. And then coming to stillness in Shavasana, closing down your eyes. And just for a few moments, coming back to natural breathing, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Softening into Shavasana.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Very, very slowly, very gently, starting to come back into your physical body. Inviting some gentle movement, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling the wrists and ankles. Keeping your eyes closed, bringing the legs together and the arms overhead for a full, big, big body stretch. Point your toes and flex. Point and flex. And then rolling over to one side, using your arm as a pillow. Supporting yourself with one hand on the earth. Feeling so safe here and so held, so supported. Taking your time in rising, make your way back into a comfortable seat. And with your eyes closed, settling in with one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. Connecting back to your breath, feeling the the gentle touch of your palms against your skin or through your shirt. And we're going to explore what boundaries feel like in the body. And before we begin, again, if it feels better, you're welcome to keep a soft gaze instead of the eyes closed. But if you can, the invitation is to keep your eyes shut so you can deeply listen and feel into what's present. Asking the medicine here to help us in listening deeply and in gently connecting to our body's wisdom and intuition. So first we're going to explore the energy of yes. And I invite you to bring into your memory a situation that felt like a full body yes. Maybe it was a partner embracing you for a hug, a friend asking you for coffee, someone offering their help to you. And just tuning into the energy of yes. Visualizing that moment and even more importantly, noticing how it feels in the body. Maybe there's some lightness, spaciousness, an exciting tingling sensation. Perhaps your lips come into a gentle smile as you think of this full body yes. And I invite you to say it with me. Yes. 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 Connecting to this feeling of openness, excitement, of being grounded, of feeling in alignment with your authentic expression. Yes. And then staying with these deep grounded breaths, very gently starting to shift to what it feels like to feel a no in the body. Bringing to mind now very gently a situation or a memory where you felt a no in the body. Being really compassionate with yourself here. And perhaps it's a situation where you said yes when you really meant no, or where you didn't say anything out of fear of rejection. And just holding yourself here, noticing the sensations that arise. Maybe it's a pit in the stomach. Maybe everything feels tight or a lump in the throat.
And when you can feel this body's cue, I invite you to say it with me, the word no. 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 And just twice more, saying it a little bit louder. No. No. And simply noticing how that feels as you say the word no. Perhaps it's really hard for you. Maybe it feels almost agonizing. But know that every time that you say no to somebody or to something, from this feeling that you can experience in the body, you are courageously saying yes to yourself. And without judgment, continuing to feel whatever arises in the body. And to close the practice, I invite you to bring both hands over your heart now. We're going to inhale through the nose 3 times and then exhaling through the mouth. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. 2 more times, deep inhale. And exhale, release. Last one, biggest breath yet. Deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. And the palms together in front of the heart, rubbing the palms together, creating heat and energy. And then placing your hands over your closed eyes, covering the face. Feeling the warmth and the energy of this practice, of the medicine, of the word yes and no. And with your eyes closed, taking this energy and taking your hands and just starting to pat down your shoulders, the arms. Firmly pressing down, spreading this energy down the torso, the belly, the hips, buttocks, all the way down the thighs, shins, feet, and then back up. Just pressing and fusing your body with this wisdom, with the energies of yes and no. And then again, finding yourself here with the hands at the heart, gently bowing the head down, offering thanks and gratitude to your body and your body's wisdom, even if it may be very slow to connect with it. Giving thanks to your breath, thanks to the medicine, and thanks to the beautiful souls sharing this practice with you. Thank you so much for being here with